Welcome to another session of SQL queries. So in this session, we are going to discuss some advanced queries on the joins. I have seen like there are a lot of videos in internet around the SQL joins, and mostly they covers like the basics of joins or some complex join, but then they are not able to explain the use cases that well. So here I am just trying to explore a few advanced queries using joins, simple joins like joins what you know, but what are the use cases, how like when the question arises, how you will decide, okay, what type of join and what the joining condition I'm going to use. So today's session we will be focusing on these some advanced queries like advanced join use cases with like on filter or where filter, like, and yeah, that I will explain by example. It's not that easy to explain here, but all these queries we will solve with examples here. Okay, then range joining with cases. This is another advanced query. Sometimes we have to write depending on the case, and then joining on string column, common use cases. So let's begin. So let's try to have some first basic understanding of joins. And for all these three questions, I'm going to cover with the, like practical tables here. So the first, let's explore the first question here. So I have created these two tables. One is employee table and department table. You can observe the data here. What we have here, you can see the employee ID here and then department ID. And in this table also we have department ID. So employee table and department tables are in relation using this department ID column that we can see here, but we can also observe some nulls. Whenever you see some nulls in tables, and if you are doing data analytics work or data engineering works, be very careful because those nulls might result into the wrong data as well. Okay, so the first very simple question arises. Okay, try to find out all employees with the active department ID. Okay, this is our simplest join where we are saying that okay, all the employee with the active department ID or active department name. So in the department table, we can see that here there is a flag which says is active and it is 1 and 0. So 0 means off, it means that department is not active. So this first query, it's going to be a simple join. You can deal it with any way. So let's say this is the first example here and try to run this query. So you can see like from the two table, the table we have here, this table and this table, what are the active employees with the department name. So you can see here in this table we have department ID 1 and 2, and in this table as well 1, 2, 3. So we can see like 1 is active, 3 is active, 4 is active, but in this table we can see like we have 1, 2, 3, 5. So 4 is missing. So basically if all together you see what are the active one which are present in the both the tables, those are only 101 and 103, and that's what our result is. So this is a simplest form of a join, okay, where we are seeing that okay, all the employees with their department name only when the department is active department. It's simple. You can see the same query we can have written in this way as well with the same result. So while running both the queries, you can see it's like giving the same result, but here is a fundamental difference in both the queries. The first query we are using this is active condition because we have to check if the department is active or not. So first this filter condition is with the join condition itself, meaning it is with on only using AND clause. And in the second query we have this filter condition using a where clause, not AND join, AND clause here. And when you run both the queries, the result is same, right? So I mean, how it is happening? Is it always you can use this way? Is it always going to give you the same result? That's a very fundamental question here in joins. Okay, although it's a very simple join, but there is a trick. If you write query like this is being called an efficient query, and this is also giving the same result, but performance wise it's not that efficient. Although this statement is not that true, because when you are using the inner join in both the queries, mostly even on the performance side both the queries are same. Okay, but how to understand, I mean, this better with the left joins, not with the inner joins. Inner joins, they are giving the same output, you will not feel the difference. So let's jump into the other question. This is going to be a little tricky one. Okay, I will try to explain. If like still you are not able to understand, you can comment me, I will try to explain further. But so in the given these two tables, same tables, if the question is find all the employees with the department name only if the department is active. Okay, but they are saying like, okay, all the employee and with the department name is needed only if the department is active. Active means is active equal to 1 in this table. If not active or not present, so not active, not present, not active is this one. This is an example where it's not active, and not present is an example where, let's say, we have department ID 105 in the first table, but it is not present in the second table. Okay, so if it is not active or not present, then give the department name in the final query as not available. Okay, so as we have seen our first queries, like first two queries, here we are giving the department name only for the active one. That was simple. This is going to be little tricky in the sense, okay, you can always do a left join. So when we say that, okay, all the employees, but give the name only if the department is active. If it is not active or not available, give not available. So simple query we can start using left join, because when we say that all the employees, so all the employees mean all employee table will, so the table from where we are expecting all rows, that will always remain in left. Okay, that's how we like, it's a understanding of left. So let's keep the employee table in left. So I started the same query, select a dot asterisk that a table is employee table, and then from employee table, then left join the department table B, and then I'm taking the department name here on the department ID of both the table, because both the table are related using this department ID, and then I am applying the same filter, and uh, A is active equal to 1. Okay, so when I'm applying this, you can see what I'm seeing here, right? What I'm seeing here is, okay, all the employees, because let's run the table again. So we have 5 employees here. So yeah, we are getting all the employees here, and let's check the department name, right? So then check the department name here. Now you can see for department 1 and 3, we have department here 1 and 3. We can see these rows 1 and 3 in, but for 2, because it is an inactive here, the department 102 is inactive, we have null here. Okay, which is not good, because we need not available, something like that, right? But not as a null. But yeah, this query is giving us somewhat like all the employees, and wherever it is active, it is giving us the department name, and where we don't have, then it's giving null, but it's giving all the employee. But let's just think of the same query and compare is the previous one. If you just don't understand this concept and apply this B is active with the where clause. Okay, so let's write the same query again, copy paste here, and in place of and, let's say where, and then run this query and just see the result. You see the result what we got. Now it is just a simple result what we got with the inner join. It worked simple as an inner join, right? Although we used left join here. So what has happened actually? So now understand how it works. When we apply a filter condition is like this. When we apply a filter condition with a join condition which is with on, so how SQL treat it? SQL first try to filter this table, okay, like this. So it will try to filter this table, select asterisk from department where is active equal to 1. So for the B table, it will keep only record which are active in the first table itself, and then it will apply a left join. So what will happen in that case, whatever department those are active here, those will come only, and rest will get filtered. And then when you do left join, so because we are doing left join on employee table A, so you'll all see all the rows of A. That's how it works in the case of when we apply a filter with like this. But when you apply a filter on where condition, so what happens here, we are not filtering this department table initially while joining. Okay, so and then it works like this way. Okay, you have not filtered anything, but when you apply where condition outside on, okay, this separately, then this where works on the result itself. Okay, so now you are saying that okay, whatever result we got, in that result where B is active is equal to 1, only those rows. So when you apply this although you are using left join, but it becomes 1 just as an inner join, right? So it's different, like how we use this versus this, and the situation is also different, right? When we use this versus this, it is not that because in inner join it works like same way, either you are using this way or this way. All right, it is not that okay, it also works the same way in the left join. So be very careful while using left join and applying a filter condition other than on condition, right? Always careful, like how what you want in your output. So that comes from the question itself. So here in the question it's saying like okay, all the employee with the department name, but only department name when the department name is present. Okay, if department name is not present, then you can apply uh, not available, right? So in that case, the first query is giving us correct result. Only thing what is missing here is that is null condition. So if is null, we can say not available, right? Now write this query, and now we are getting yes all. So we are getting all the employees name and their department ID and their department name. And wherever we don't have an department ID matching or not active, we are saying not available, right? So here this is a same join query, but it is a little complex one when you someone asks this type of question in interview. Basically it's not about interview, but this is a concept which is like which should be very clear. So sometimes people just say that okay, I will always do filter condition on where, but it is not needed. You can also use the where filter condition with on condition as well. Okay, so that's what we solved the first query here. And then the second, I want to discuss little advanced join on using range, and I will try to explain the use case of this as well. So I have the two more table here. I created this for example. This is a very situational example, okay, for the analytics. So you have two tables. One is customer sale table, and you have one customer forecast table. So let's say start of the year you got a forecast table. So customer forecast table came year like a start of the year, fiscal year, and then you have sales table, and sales goes like per month, right? And then date wise as well. So you have these two table. Analyze these two table, right? First table is having customer ID and then sales date and then sales amount, and then other second table you can see having customer ID, but in the forecast there is a month, because in but big companies there is no forecast for days. Forecasts are always for months or fiscal quarter or year, not for the days, right? So you cannot predict a day forecast, you can predict only the month, quarter, and yearly or monthly or yearly forecast, not the day. Okay, so these two tables are valid, and this was the forecast. Now what is the need here? The question is okay, in output we have been asked to create a view or query where the output will have customer ID, sales date, which is coming from the first table, and sales amount coming from the first table, and the uh, month forecast amount as well. So this is the forecast amount, right? We want this query looks very simple because you have customer ID, you can join. So this is for per customer per month. Okay, so per customer per month forecast. So you have customer ID here in both the table. You can simply join these two table, using customer ID, but we want monthly data, right? Because it's saying the date as well. So sales date is month wise, like days by date. So you need this column as well. So the other join, the second join condition will be on the date column. Okay, now you can see like, okay, if you don't have any dim date or calendar date table in your like the given situation, so you have only these two tables. Now you can see this date is any date, like first sale happen on the 1st of January, second happen 5th, and then 10th, and these all coming from customer one, and these sales are also coming from customer one. These sales are coming from customer two on different dates, but the forecast is on the month. So for first customer ID one, for the month of January, the forecast is, let's say, $40, and for the same customer one, for the month of February, the forecast is 45. So here the forecast month is a date, but this is end of the month date. You can see this is an end of month date, right? So simply we can try to write this query, right? Let's start. So it looks very simple, but we will see some challenges here. Select a string from A, and then let's say we are talking about let's say join only, because this is not about left join or inner join. So let's have a join, inner join ID be on A dot customer ID, which this is very simple. This part is because we can get customer ID. This part is simple. Now comes the second part, and we want per customer per month data, not the like per date data, because here output we want sales date, and sales date is in the first column, first table. So we can say A dot sales date is equal to B dot forecast month, and you can keep here a column of A dot string, and one B you can forecast amount. We want only forecast amount, correct? When you run this query and just see the output, you are getting only one row, and the reason for it, because now you run all the queries together and you will see what is the reason for it. Here we have sales on each date or random dates, not on like end of the month. So this forecast is only for the end of month, right? So if you apply this join on the date, it is not going to work. It will only work where it finds a matching entry for end of the, so like for end of the month, where it is finding a matching query in both the table, right? So if it's getting a matching sale for both the tables. So like for the customer ID 2, we don't have any sale on 31st, 131st. So that's why it's not coming. So in output, you are getting just one row, which is for customer ID 2. On the customer ID 2, customer ID 2 is having 130. Like January 31st, one sale that is here, and that's the sale amount we can see here for customer ID 1. Customer ID, sorry, customer ID 2 on 131st. So customer ID 2, 131st, we have forecast amount 70. That is what we are getting, because we are getting only one matching date here. So this join will not work here. Then comes like how we can deal with such problem, right? Now, so what we can do, we know that, okay, when B dot forecast month is clear, because this is always one date. Somehow if we are able to just find the range of these dates, we can manage it. So how I'm going to tackle it, I will say this is not exactly matching. I will say where this date is between, say first date is 20, this one, I know if this one, and between 31st, let's say 131st, somewhere we have if 131st. So if the date range is this, right, then we know that this is a January. So we can call it this, all the date as a month and date. Then we can say this, then this. So this is what basically we want, right? So we want this range to become this date. Then only our query will work, because we have in forecast month, we have only this date, right? So this will work. How we can achieve this? This we can say, okay, case. So this is a wonderful use of case, where we are saying when. So how we write case, right? We write case like case when A dot sales date between 24, this is January, then 31st, of January, then it becomes just 31st January, end of month, that right. And then this, and then we can join with this, and this will give only January, right? So let's make it for February as well. So we are saying like when it starts with the 2 and ends with, let's say, 229, and then it will become 229. Okay, it's little lengthy query, but we can manage for all the months. And same way, if it is for starting with 3 and 331st, then we know that okay, this will be 331st. Why 331st? Because in our second table, which is forecast table, where we have forecast monthly, so we know for that for the March month forecast is 331, right? February is 229. The last date is 229. So this is same way we can cover for all 12 months, but we have data only for 3 months, so it's okay. So then we need to end this case here. You can see we converted the whole range of date using a case in one date, and then we can compare these date. If we have a dim date table or calendar table, it's very easy, and this join can be very easy. But that's the purpose of this question in interview. I mean, if you don't have dim date table, then how you can tackle this question? Now when you run this query, you see you are getting all your transaction here, 18 rows. Okay, so let's how many rows here, let's check. Here we have 19 rows, and it means 331 we have something else like which is not covered in this, the two dates. Okay, we are saying 351. What else? Let's check. Or this table compare together, we might be missing some data or maybe one date, but it is like that's how this works. So now when you join this one, you can see the output, right? And this is the output you are getting. We are interested in this output. Now if you someone is saying okay, but do per month sale, right? I don't want per date sale. So I can simply take this, let's say this month b dot fiscal month here, sorry, b dot forecast month here. When you run this query, now you have, you have this month only, right? If you have this month only, and then you can ignore this date part, right? You can have just a dot customer ID if you want to further refine this query, and then the sales amount, forecast amount, and sales month. And now you have these three columns, you can see, right? And if you want monthly forecast and monthly sum, so you see this forecast is repeating, so we need not to sum it, right? But the sale, we understand that sale was on different date. So if you want sale for per month, you need to aggregate it, right? So in this query, we can aggregate this sum sale amount with the sum, and we say sale amount. Then you need to keep rest of the column in group by as you are aggregating. So let you will say group by, and then you have to write rest of the column here. That's how we write query. Now you see this one. So now for customer ID 1 for the month of January, you have sale amount as a 30, forecast was 40 earlier. For customer ID 1, for the month of February, the sales amount is 115 and the forecast amount was 45. Same way for others, right? And that's how we can aggregate, and that's how we can tackle this question. I mean, this is a very wonderful question. We can have multiple questions on the same given table, right? And this is how we can generate like per month. So sale was per date, but we converted it to per month. Forecast was already per month, so now both the table came in the same level, and we can see the data per month per customer, right? So this a problem also we solved. This is a very common use case in data analytics. This can go for like not for month, this can go for quarter. Then you can give this range as in the quarter dates, like from January to March 31st. The same query will work for the quarters as well, and same can work for different fiscal year if you have more than 1 year data. That's how we can solve the date range problem. Okay, then Then the third question, what we are going to solve here, and this is also will clear a fundamental, which is very easy, but mostly sometime, I mean, with the given data, if we don't understand the data, we don't analyze it very carefully, we make these silly mistakes in data analytics. And when this data, so like you will write just a view, maybe it is working first time very well, but when you use this view in your report, and then on the next refresh, when the you will get bad data from source, and if you have not taken it care it, then you will have a blank report or wrong data in report. Okay, so let's have the example. So we have two table here. So one table, simple table, is purchase table, another is sales area table. I created this for this use case. So the first table, purchase table, you can see you have column like purchase date and amount and the city where the purchase is being made. And then other table is kind of dimension table, where for each city and the area is defined that, okay, if the city is Bellevue, then it falls under sales area as a northwest. Same way in New York falls in northeast, and then same way Bellevue, Redmond falls in. So this is a dimension table. Now what is the output needed? Output is needed in output that the sales date, and then amount, and then city, and then the sales area. Okay, so looks like it's very simple. You can have like inner join or left join depending on all the sales, all the purchases, or only the matching or purchases. That's not the question here. The question here is we need a sales area. Sales area, we can join the two table based on the city, right, which is a string column in the table. So you can see the structure of table. The city column is varchar 100 here, the city column is varchar 100 here, right? So this join is on the string column. So what I did, I just joined like a dot asterisk. We need all the column from A, and B dot sorry, area, sales area. This is what we want in output, right? We want all three column of this and the sales area from the second. Very good. When run this query, when you run this query, and let's run this one more time, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 6 purchases, and you have 3 dimension table 3 record. But we know that all the cities are covered: Bellevue, Redmond, New York, Bellevue, Redmond, New York. That's the data. When you run it, you see the output. Okay, but in the output, although the data was covered in the both the table, right? It should have been like all the data, because we have the matching city here in the dimension table and here as well. But in the output, you got only 4 rows. So where the 2 rows went, right? Now comes the question. Okay, so that's how it's a very simple, but you should analyze it. The, it like always consider case when you are joining the two table from the city. You don't know that, okay, from where you receive the data in the purchase table. Purchase table could be a website, right, where a user has filled his payment method like credit card or bank detail, and then the city. And in the city, it's a text box. It is not like that all the user will always enter a valid string there, right? Sometimes we also leave some spaces in the string fields, right? So always analyze when you are, and if it is a critical, always analyze when you are joining the two table on a string. Make sure if there are not spaces, blank spaces in the string. Now when I pasted this first table, you can see we have some time spaces. You can see what we have one space here, right, in Bellevue, and even we have a space. So in the first one we have a space at the end, which is Redmond, but the SSMS ignores this space, right? So but the space start of the string are valid space. They are considered to be a valid space. Okay, so that's why the data is not matching, because in the second table, which is dimension table, you can see this all these cities are okay. All these cities are with the valid date, but you can see here is for the Bellevue. I think here also we have a space from the first string, and that's the purpose of this question. When you joining the two table on string, always consider spaces here. Okay, so how to deal with such question? First thing is, when you are creating these your in analytic platform, your production table, always in the transform layer itself or the business logic layer itself, you should have cleaned this data and applied proper trimming or other functions, right, to trim it. But let's say we don't have applied there, but still we can deal with this such problem. saying, let's say trim, and then I will trim, because I know there are extra spaces when you start and end. Then I will start join the both table using trim function. Trim function will trim the spaces from both the side. Okay, so I start and end. So now you can see you have all the data here, whatever is present in the first purchase table, and then there is a matching. So we can have now in our output all three column and then the fourth required column. You can see here the city is having spaces in the front. If you don't want in your output, then you should have all the column mentioned specifically a dot amount, and it is always a good habit to write all the column name, not using asterisk or something. So city, and then use trim for city as well. And then run this query. Now this is perfectly written query. Now if you create a view on top of this query, whatever the data, I mean with spaces or without spaces, whatever you are getting from your source table, you will be always able to handle it, and in your final report this will not generate a wrong or invalid or stale data. Okay, this was a trick. And spaces in SQL are considered as a string. You can see the value of always there is a function we say char, and then if you try like char 9, 10, 11, I'm not 100% sure. For 12 you can see there is a space. So how you can see, if I will say ABC plus concatenate two string, I'm saying CVE, then you will see what is the value of char 12. I think 9, 10, 11, 12, there are some char. You see here this is an extra character. There are char which generates space, or that space is a different type of space, right? You see here is a space, but this space is a tab space, right? It's tab space, not a that space, right? And 12, these are some small tricks of SQL. If you know basics of SQL, then you will understand these all are spaces, right? This we are generating. For each char there is a, I mean for each your keyword key there is a char defined in SQL, same way as in other language. So if you try 78, let's try it. What is char 78? And it's capital N, okay, capital N. And if you try 98, it is a small b. So for each character now you can research more, but this is just a simple trick. It was out of syllabus, it was not a part of this session, but yeah, as we use trim, I wanted to explain that this is a valid string. We have a char for these in SQL. Okay, so we are wrapping up this session here. If you like it, if you find these queries useful, you can research more, read more. There are hundreds and thousands of videos on join, but join is not that simple concept in SQL. Never like think that okay, you know everything about SQL joins. Okay, there are a lot of things. I mean, even if you know the joins, but then you should know, okay, performance wise which are the best joins, not like writing which way, like this way, or writing with the where condition. I hope you liked enjoyed this session. If you liked it, enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe my channel, and looking forward for another video. I will try to create more videos on join and on the complex join use cases scenarios. Thank you, everyone.